What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with my friend J4Y. Jay doing a Brocast of a Han game between MSI and Druid Omega. I am BDLM. What's going on, buddy?
Oh man, not much, not much. Excited to start doing this again. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually really excited to cast this game. It feels a lot like some kind of Cinderella story championship thing, but it's kind of just a normal best out of three.
Oh.
MSI, just a big team that I think anybody who knows anything about the professional scene in Han is aware of. Here people like Trixie, Fly. I mean, just huge names that everybody really I think loves. DRzO Omega, though, I've just recently discovered them with the Winter Dream Hack coming up. The invitations went out for that tournament. A lot of teams couldn't make it, and so what they did was they invited some additional teams, and then for their very last spot, they decided to have a best out of three between DRzO Omega and I believe... I don't remember the name of the other team off the top of my head, but they played really well in that best of three, just completely dominated the first game, lost the second one, but then came back in the third with a win, securing them that spot in the tournament in the winter. So it'll be really interesting to see how this kind of like up-and-coming team who just barely gets into a major tournament by the skin of their teeth do against this tried-and-true MSI team.
Well, I mean, I've been watching a lot of MSI. I haven't watched a lot of this Druids team. From what I've watched from MSI, they've generally always liked to have that strong carry that just farms all game, and then they have maybe some roaming heroes. Depending on Freshful wants to do, sometimes he goes like that Pharaoh. He goes, whatever he feels like doing. Whereas Druids, I feel like they go on more of like a push kind of strat. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of just the sort of flavor of the month as it is, the way the metagame is right now, playing really aggressive, strong push heroes. And when we take a look at the bans later, I think we'll see a lot of that. A lot of push style heroes, a lot of strong pushing heroes that can really get around the map and do a lot as far as ganks as well. Will be taken out. So as mentioned, the bans, do you want to take care of that and go over those?
Yeah, I'll start off with the bans here. We got Plague Rider, Kraken, Electrician, Parasite, Torturer, Tempest, Ophelia, Master Arms, and then Nymphora. I just want to say right off the bat, you're going to notice these junglers getting taken out. I'll get to the picks there in a second. But yeah, so we got, Parasite, Ophelia, Tempest, got those minion control, really strong, and it makes a lot of sense they get these bans. And actually, most of those were coming from MSI, so they don't really want to be in the jungle, it seems too much. They want to get in that laning phase and really dominate it. I actually don't see a Zephyr ban. Zephyr's been picked up a lot recently in this kind of meta game. What are your thoughts on that?
It's potentially dangerous. Like you said, Zephyr's picked up an awful lot. And, it's funny, a lot of strength heroes are picked up because they're so durable and they can still put out a lot of damage and they have good, strong abilities. Zephyr's one of those agility carries that's still really early on, really tanky, is in that same kind of role, but has the potential to really carry the team, past the 30-minute mark. Whereas you don't get that so much from like a Kraken, as we see picked up here by No Tail.
Definitely, I agree with you. I mean, and then as we're going, let's go start into the picks. Obviously, MSI start off with a Tundra first pick. Especially I think after that Dota 2 tournament where Beastmasters picked up a lot, I think people in Han kind of took a page from that and they started realizing, oh wow, this guy's got a lot of lane presence, good controls, ultimate goes through that, shrunken head. A lot of great things, so it makes a lot of sense to see him picked up. I think in this role. Also, you were mentioning strength being that nice tanky hero, and him with Kraken on top of that. I mean, that's a lot of great initiation, team control, I think. And then on the other team, we got Polywog Priest picked up, the Med Shaman, and then this Cthulhu font, which obviously is pretty new to the scene, not picked up very often. I don't know, what do you think so far?
No, that's definitely a pickup that stands out to me. But I'm thinking, I'm looking at this Druids team, you see Polywog Priest picked up. And the thing I love about this game is you think there are so many heroes that kind of come in and then go out of popularity. And especially when you consider how much the metagame really changed in this. But Polywog Priest is that one hero that has kind of always been there. He doesn't get a lot of nerfs, doesn't get a lot of buffs. He's just very well balanced, and he works really well with just about any kind of team composition. So it's really nice to see him picked up. Cthulhu font, though, That's going to be an interesting pickup. It'll be neat to see what they try and do with that. Again, a strength hero that has some durability. And having a Demented Shaman picked up, it'll be interesting to see what the lanes turn out to be, because that could be potentially very dangerous.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, when Cthulhu first came out, people were trying to figure out how exactly to fit him in. I mean, he has a move where he basically eats a creep and gains a shield in front of him, absorbing some damage. And so people initially thought, oh, maybe he's going to be in the jungle, kind of roaming, but it's such a long cooldown that actually what people have started to figure out is that it's more, it works out better if he's actually in a lane, and then like every minute, because that's like what the cooldown is, he goes, eats a creep, gets that shield, comes back, and harasses. So it'll be interesting to see if that's what he ends up doing here. And they actually finish off with Slither and Zephyr. Slither, I don't have to say anything because I know how much you love him, and honestly, Trixie, he's probably the most well-known in the game for that Slither, so I don't know if they actually wanted him and it kind of got ninja'd there or what happened, but either way, you see that Poly, Slither, there's so many wards, can't even count them. Yeah, that was awesome. And Zephyr with his ultimate and his tankiness, Demented Shaman with the heals, and I mean, this is just a powerful, pushing, tanky team.
Absolutely, like you said, wards everywhere. They're going to be able to take down towers as soon as Poliwag hits level 6. You know, you can imagine that Arch Tiger is probably going to take Slither and maybe do a 1-1-3 build where he's going to try and get those wards up to try and control the lane and push towers. They have those two really tanky heroes in Zephyr and Cthulhu, which just means, of course, that Demented Shaman is going to be deadly with those heals. The two of them are probably going to be near one another. That's another person to have the heal bounce to and do additional damage. It'll be really neat to see what that team does. For MSI, they're closing out their picks. Tundra, Midas, and Glacius Kraken. Perhaps an Arachna pickup here, we'll see. But I'm a big fan of Glacius too. He hasn't actually been that popular lately. He was kind of just, before he was the go-to for support heroes, but lately he's kind of been on and off. But that aura is so strong, especially in this kind of metagame where aggression is so important. Being able to cast spells more often, that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
They do finish up, though, with that Arachna pick, someone we don't see ever. So a lot of really strange picks, at least two here with the Cthulhu and the Arachna, stuff that we would not expect. What do you think about this Arachna pick?
The Arachna, well, I'm going to skip right over that and say, hello, we got ourselves a Midas. That was kind of just blown over, I think. I think Cthulhu and Midas both very new to this game. People are still not exactly sure how powerful they can be. I know Midas, a lot of people are saying, oh my god, nerf when he came out, because when he hits 6, and he can combo his spells, get that stun and extra damage on people, it is a ridiculous amount of burst damage he can do. And then, I'll go back to Arachna. I don't like him against this team. Generally, I think he's really powerful against, obviously, someone that can invis or stealth or get away, because that ultimate just slows them so much, keeps detection on them. So I think he's a great counter to some people, but against a Zephyr and, a Cthulhu, I don't think he's going to be as effective as he would against other people.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you think of that Arachnol, like you said, you want to use it on somebody who's trying to get away, but who on the other team is really trying to get away? I mean, they're going to be like, all right, you want to hold us here? Just wait for till my buddies show up and put on the hurting. I mean, it seems like a really strange fit here. They obviously wanted to pick up a hard carry. The slow, of course, will be useful. The ulti will be useful, but you also have the Demented Shaman Cloak, which might nullify that ability if he's anywhere nearby.
Absolutely. I think I would have preferred maybe, he is great. He does a ton of damage. He gets that aura that, boosts base damage. He can put out a lot of damage, but just against such a tanky team, I think he's just going to fall behind.
Yeah, I was thinking too when you were talking about Midas earlier, he's actually been picked up quite a bit lately. As like you were saying, he can combo really well. If he does get that combo, Transmute just makes him so strong. He's been kind of played both as kind of a carry, as like kind of a strength carry, kind of like Kraken. And also recently people have been trying to play him as a support as his one ability heals. So it'll be really interesting to see how they decide to play him here. It looks like he is heading to the middle lane, yes, he will be mid against Slither and Zephyr by the looks of it. So we have a 2-2-1 setup coming out from Druids.
I think this is a very good play. You know, Midas, he ramps so hard in this game, kind of like a Pebbles almost want to say, in the sense that he gets a nice early domination in his middle lane against whoever he's playing. He'll just take off because he'll get the levels, he'll get that bottle, he'll go around ganking. But what they're doing here, obviously, they got that Zephyr who's tanky, he's going to get that strong farm. Slither's going to be throwing down that harassment. He's going to get really hindered, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Zephyr is strong in the early game, but he really needs to hit like level 3, level 4 before he can really get into the stability where he can just be like, whatever, set up something here in the middle lane. He's sitting on that river there. Oh, Bloodlust goes out in the bottom lane to manage Shamanic with Bluefont, destroy Glacius, the tissue papery hero, and Druids were able to pick up first blood.
I'm sorry I missed that action a little bit there, but I mean, you can tell that could be such a deadly combination. You could have the stun and, you know, followed up with a nice heal with creeps. And you can see Kraken just getting harassed out of his lane. I mean, he's got some regen, but this is going to be hard for him. Oh, there's the stun followed up with a heal. Oh, instant burst. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is going to be a hard lane to deal with.
Yeah, you know, we were just talking earlier, you know, when Quizulafon was first picked up, that could be really dangerous with a Demented Shaman. And, you know, I think this is just a show of things to come. Putting that heal with either him or Zephyr, I'm really play well this game. It looks like Tundra's going to look to take over the middle lane while Midas P's. We'll have to see if the lanes decide to stay this way. It looks like Slither has backed off from the middle for the time being. And now Arachna comes in the middle to see what she can do. So it looks like MSI isn't really sure what they want to do here. We have Slither moving top lane with the haste room. Oh, Midas gets initiated on by Polywog coming from behind Slither. The slow is applied. He tries to get away, but he is unable to take him down. I don't think he would have been able to get away at all there with that haste of Slither slowed and keeping that dot on.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think this is just amazing play already by Druids. And, like, MSI, you can tell they are so confused right now. You know, they're rotating people around, not sure what the best combination is. You know, harassment bottom, but honestly, their lineup is not suited to counter theirs. You know, they have this beautiful support with the Slither and the Demed Shaman. They have the tanky carry they're just going to farm. It's going to be really hard to gank as the game goes on. And meanwhile, you know, on MSI, Tundra, he's getting 0 farm. He's acting as a support, and that's completely not what Tundra does. You know, he needs to hit level 6 so he can gank, and he needs to get some tanky items. Otherwise, he's pretty worthless.
Yeah, you almost think that they might want to try and maybe send Tundra top against Polywog Priest. You know, Polywog probably will not get abused top lane. He's going to take that harassment. Oh, looks like Zephyr wants to go in here on Arachna. The slow applied by Slither, and they will get taken down. The little tornadoes just doing little tornadoes. Doing so much damage, and then toxicity from Slither. Slither finally does pick up that kill. You know, it's nice getting those early kills on the supports, you know, getting that ward money, making sure that you can actually get boots, which does not happen all the time as we've seen in other professional games. So.
Well, you don't.
Oh, the game now progressing 4-0 in favor of Druids Omega, looking very dominant in this game against, as we were saying earlier, the tried-true MSI team.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, I think this is already going major down. You can see the advantage pressing. I mean, we got 2,700 gold and 1,500 experience already. Here they go, chasing down Kraken. Wixie throws out that little harass saying, hey, back off, man. But ultimately, you know, Kraken just getting shut down. He's only at 169 creeps. We can look at this goal. I mean, if this doesn't say it, what else would? You know, 195 is their top gold per minute on Arachna. You got 400 gold per minute on, you know, Cthulhu, 320, 200. Oh, speaking of which, sorry to cut you off myself. Kraken gets torqued down. Glacius getting popped on. It's like, oh man, there's no way Glacius getting out of this one. And turns out
it's just ridiculous down here. They cannot do anything with bottom lane. Now sending in Tundra to see what they can do with Cthulhu, but what are you gonna do? The slow from the pet though will stop any kind of initiation on Tundra, but by Slither and Zephyr able to take out the Arachna once again. 0-7 now, and it's only going to go downhill from here.
This is just, it's hard to watch on this. I mean, speaking of which, Blaze gets a Kraken, get initiation. Here comes Tundra coming in. They don't have a lot to work with, though. All three of them, there's no stuns. I mean, Kraken could stun if he pushes him into a tree, but obviously that wasn't going to happen. And just couldn't combo him. He's too tanky at this point,
Yeah, Glacius has an opportunity to stun with the Ice Imprisonment, but, you just saw there, the first thing they did was Magic Shaman threw on the cape, so he wasn't going to die to that, and then they just waited till the charge cooldown came off, for he had the minute to do it, and he did it. He just got away. So it's going to be really tough for them to try and take down that lane, and they keep sending people to that lane trying to stop it, they're just not having any success. Something I wanted to point out is Glacius actually picking up his aura as you'd expect. Actually, a lot of people lately, I think started by Yoda, playing Glacius without hitting his aura. Seems like strange play to me, but people do it from time to time. He has picked that up to kind of help out that what we were thinking about earlier, being able to use a lot of spells, getting the mana up. But obviously, the extra mana is not helping as much as they would like it to on the MSI side.
Yeah, well, I mean, just... Initiation Kraken, look at that heal damage! Unbelievable how much that did. I mean, they're just catching Kraken with all these creeps, and it's just so much damage. And then you follow up with a stun, and there's nothing Kraken can do. And they're so under-leveled at this point. It's 6 and a 5 versus 4 and 4. It's just... very difficult.
Yeah, you really have to feel bad for Trixie here. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of situation. If I walk up to the creeps, I can get healed, initiated on, then the slow, and then get the wolf on just charge in. If I sit back, then I'm not getting any farm. They're going to get all the denies. Further here in the middle lane, Zephyr and Slither looking to go hit again on the
Know your place, peasant.
She can't do anything. There's just too much slow, too much displacement with even the Gust by Zephyr.
Well, I'm looking at the items right now on both teams. With the, MSI, they basically have their starting items. They haven't really built anything new. Poor Glacius only has some wards. He doesn't even have anything else to go with those. It's looking awful. And I want to also comment, by the way, you thought maybe Slither would go at ward build. He's going to actually major harass build with Zephyr. He's got, toxicity maxing out. And I think that's actually a really smart play against a solo, because they're just going to keep him harassed out of the lane, and if they can catch him with a Zephyr Gust, I mean, he's dead, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we can't have known what this would be like if there were no kills in the middle lane. He might have, if there was some kind of contestment in this middle lane, then maybe he would have gone forward, but they really don't serve a purpose. They're able to get Arachna far enough away from the tower that they can just kill her. No problem. So, yeah, no, I agree that is definitely the way to go at this point.
Yeah, no, and let's go back to this game. I mean, we're already at 5,500 gold and 3,500 experience, 9-0 lead, 8.5 minutes into the game. Midas is doing pretty decent. I mean, not great, but he's doing the best on his team farm-wise because he's been against that Polywog. But Polywog's in there pretty with 260 gold. We got 380 on Cthulhu, 360 on Zephyr. I mean, this is just... It's it's a problem when the supports are tied to your highest creep.
Yeah, that's just never a good sign. Zephyr, we can see, finishing up his home with the Black Legion. Like we were kind of joking around earlier, oh, looks like Bracket will try and go in here on Zephyr. Why would do that? I'm not quite sure. Tundra gets gusted out of place. Oh, so they're able to get the slow. The toxicity is going to burn him down. Will they be able to kill him? Yes, they will. Tundra still doesn't even have his ulti. Now the ultimate by Zephyr going down. And
Absolutely
yet again in the middle lane. The tower taken down as well as Super Heroes. Going in on Zephyr, I don't understand. They really should have tried to use it on Slither, someone who doesn't have any kind of durability at this point, only the Steam Boots. But I was thinking, we're talking about Steam Boots, and how we were talking about how sometimes in games, supports aren't even able to afford boots. Look at the Legion team right now. 3 out of 5, oh now 4, have their boots. Kraken still doesn't have any.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty rough. I mean, Kraken... Tundra and Kraken and Midas, actually they have 4 heroes they really want to get beefy and farm, and if two of them don't even have boots. Well, now it's 1, but there's just nothing. Like, how is Kraken going to really hold up against these people, especially in the middle late game? Whereas Cthulhu, Helm of Black Legion, they have 2 Helms of Black Legion now, 1 on Zephyr, 1 on Cthulhu. Tundra actually coming in, trying to start ganking, not level 6, so all they got is this little minion pestering him. But he's got his stun. I mean, this isn't going to lead to anything.
Kiss my ass.
Oh, we see Arachna goes down again. Just nothing she can do. Cannot get anything going. And, you know, this is really all Druids have to do. If they keep down Arachna, the one person that they really have to fear late game and continue their chokehold on this early game, then they'll do just fine. It looks like, yes, Thunder tries to come in again. They want to go on this Menace now, and a much better choice. Trying to get the one that's the weakest. Dragon ulti comes out. Will they actually be able to get a kill here? So much done, the heal goes off. It looks like Kraken and Tundra go down. Completely turned around. No deaths by the Legion. Come at me, bro. You can't do anything. And now it looks like Glacius has to run for his life, looking to try and get away, hiding in the trees. Tower drops his ulti just to kill the trees. Four heroes down here. Hero charging in, hits him, and now the game goes 15-0. I can't see this game going much further past the 15-minute mark. MSI is probably just want to wipe the slate clean, just get into game 2, and hopefully come back with a better strategy.
That was pretty painful to watch. I mean, the Mad Shaman, probably the one they wanted to gank up on because, you know, squishiest. I'm sure he has that cloak, but he can use that on anyone. The Coolphon's so tanky. There's no point. They're going to take another tower down here. What is Tundra thinking? That was obviously not the brightest of plans. He's still not even 6. Tundra without 6 is probably one of the most worthless heroes in the game. I mean, without that ultimate to slow and stun, he really doesn't bring anything to the table.
Yeah, and you know, we were just talking about the Kraken ulti. He just got that in order to be able to initiate that fight. And on top of that, we have Glacius, who's still level 5. Will probably want to pick up that ultimate when he hits 6. And Tundra, like you said, also doesn't have that ulti. And this is 12 minutes in. This is about the time when you would expect that ultimate to be the strongest. But it's just not here for them to help set things up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they really don't have a chance. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't want to say that normally in most games, but when it's 16-0, 13,000 gold, 9,000 experience, 12 minutes in, I mean, there's not much you can do. And then, especially when the other team is so tanky and so good at pushing, and his initiation, Midas getting locked down, double actually. He had no chance there, and he's really the only one, like I was saying this whole time, that's maybe had a chance to do anything in this game. And when he's getting locked down like that, there's really little hope there.
Yeah, these Polywalk Beast Wards are going to stop any creeps from reinforcing that tower. Unfortunately, wasn't able to place them any close to the tower, but I don't think they're going to have much in this tower regardless. They would probably welcome in any kind of ports. So they're just going to take this tower uncontested. The 7th bid now. You know, something I think is interesting, they have a lot of Mystic Vestments picked up. Like the Mega 4 out of 5 of their team have it. It looks like Slither's picking up the Helm of the Black Legion to get a little bit tankier. Glacius caught out of place here. Cthulhuphon charges through him and he just gets obliterated. Pushing it to 18, and they're just going to look to push this middle lane, it looks like, to try and get to the tower. Minute 14 just about, so you have to imagine it's going to be over pretty quick. Looks like Cthulhuphon just picks up the armor and regeneration piece of the Shaman headdress. Looks like that's what he's aiming to go after, and the Shaman
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually still interested. I'm curious why Slither, level 8, he still has no points in wards. I figure if you're like going at this much of an advantage, you know you're pushing this much, maybe you'd start. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm just theorizing. I'm like, well, if I was Slither in this point, I'd be like, okay, let's get my wards maxed up. Let's keep our advantage, keep pressuring them. Those are also so helpful when you're fighting, like, you know, going over there for Roshan. But
yeah, I agree. My only problem with that is, you know, the thing with Slither wards is they start off so weak. It's really not until you get the 3rd rank that they really start to become a nuisance, become a problem. They would certainly help push, but I don't know. It might just be smarter at this point to help get things to ensure that the hero kills, because you'd have to wait until you know, level 11, level 12 for those wards to really use them. Here we have your Arachna ulti coming out for creeps by the looks of it. Minute 15 hit, the concede comes out, and there you go. GG, DRzO Omega. Convincing win. This is exactly what I'm talking about. With the best of 3 they played
Piece
earlier,
of cake.
looking very strong and showing that they can shut down the best of the best teams.
fantastic play by them. I mean, I think the matchup was definitely more in their favor. They had the tankiness, they had the strong lanes, and MSI just got thrown off so much, and those early games really just set them back, and they could never catch up at that point. So it'll be interesting to see how they change up their strategy going into this game too.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a game too. You know, MSI is going to be looking for some kills, so let's go see if we can get them.
All right. Once again, I want to shout out to everyone. Check out towards the bottom of our site here. We'll have links to our Twitter, our email. You know, we'd love to get some replays in from people. And I just also want to specify what Brocast is trying to do for the community is not stick only to one game. We're trying to do casting for all these different games. League of Legends. Here's a new word. Dota 2. Hopefully one day. So stay tuned and follow us for all those different coverages.